Mastering smooth transitions is a crucial skill to have to go viral or to book clients. In this video, you're going to learn how to create this viral effect in After Effects. Before jumping straight into this effect, there is a plugin we're going to need, and don't worry, it is free. It is called Mocha. More specifically, it's called Mocha EA, which is the free version of Mocha Pro. It is a tracking and visual effects tool similar to the one built into After Effects, but better in different use cases. For example, the effect that I'm going to show you today. Now that we have it installed, we can get straight into this effect. I'm using a few shots from the music video Swing My Way by Offset. I'm going to start off by pre-composing my footage. I'm going to do each shot separately, and I'm going to select move all attributes into the new composition, as well as just having adjust composition duration and open a new composition checked as well. A shortcut that saves me a lot of time is pressing tab when you're inside your compositions. This allows you to go back and forwards between your compositions a lot more faster. So, okay, cool. Now that's all set up. There's this one other plugin that I use that is completely free as well that helps speed up my workflow a lot. And it's called the FX Console plugin. And what this does is just gives you a fast shortcut to access all your effects quickly. And I use it in all my projects. I can't live without it. So with one of our compositions selected, I'm going to press Control Space, which now brings up this little search bar. And now this is the plugin. So this just allows us to type in any effect that we want. We can just press enter and it applies it straight to our footage, which saves me so much time instead of going up into the effects panel and going from there. So now we're just going to search Mocha. And as you can see, we have two options. So I'm going to select Mocha EA. Now we have the plugin here. So we're just going to press the Mocha button. It'll come up with this little tab. You just want to press switch to full res, which will help the program track our footage a lot better. And we quickly just want to change the layout. And how we do that is just going up to Essentials and selecting Classic. Now that we have our footage loaded into Mocha, we want to find the best frame that shows our tracking area. For me, I want to track his face. So I'm going to use this frame because it shows his face the clearest. And I'm just going to go up here and select this tool here. And now I'm just going to draw an outline around my tracking area. Just like that. Now, we're going to go down to the bottom here. Now we have our tracking area. First, we actually want to turn off all these and leave this top one. We don't want the rotation or scale. We just want the movement from the head. So we're just going to keep on translation. So now that we have that on, we're just going to track backwards. And we can see that track turned out quite well. Now we'll just move it back to our tracking frame. Now let's track it forwards. Now we have a really good track here. What we can do now is we either can press Control S to save, or we can just go and press exit, and then it'll give us this option to save. And we just press save. As you can see, nothing really happened. And what we have to do now, we come up to our Mocha plugin and then press tracking data. And then you want to go and press create tracking data. And as you can see, it has all the information that we just tracked. Now I'm going to press invert, go to corner pin and go to transform. And we want to select the footage that we tracked and now press apply export. And as you can see, it now has stabilized the footage to our track. Now that it moves our footage around, we can see that all this empty space around our clip and we don't want that. So the way to fix that, make sure our footage is selected, press Control Space, or just go to your effects panel. And we're going to search motion tile. We'll change the output width to 300 and then the output height to 300 and then press mirror edges. As you can see now, it repeats our edges. So it fills in all that empty space, which works for this effect. Now I'm going to do the same for my second clip. I'm going to search Mocha and we're going to bring it in, go open it up again. Same process again. We're just going to find our frame that we want. And then I'm going to select the tool and now we're going to select the area that we want to track, which is its face. I'm going to turn off all the scale and rotation as before. Now we're going to track backwards. Okay, we can see wasn't too bad. We're going to track forwards now. Okay, we can see that the track kind of fell off a little bit. Kind of jitters a little too much. So we're just going to refine our track. So the way to fix that is we're going to find another frame that you can see our tracking area a little bit better. And I'm just going to go back through and adjust, making sure that we're only selecting the area that we want to track. Now I'm going to track it backwards. I'm going to bring it back and then track it forwards. Oh, you can see here that it slides a little bit. And we don't want that to slide too much. So I'm going to adjust that like this. Just make sure we have as much tracking data on where we want to track. Now I'm going to track backwards again. We can see here, yeah, that kind of fixed it. There you go, cool. Sweet as. Now we've got a good track going. Now I'm going to exit out, press save. Do the same as before. We're going to go tracking data, create track data, mirror, go to corner pin, transform, select our footage, and then apply. As you can see, now it has applied our track to that area. Awesome. Sweet. And now we can just copy and paste the motion tile over onto our other clip. We can see now all the tracking is done. Now I'm going to do some keyframing. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add in a null object. And I'm going to rename it to comp1 movement, this will be our base movement. I'm going to copy and paste it and name this comp2 movement. And this will be our base movement for our comp2. Now we have our null objects renamed. We're going to go and I'm going to select my comp1 movement and we're going to come over to parent and link. The one we want to select is our comp1 movement. Now I'm going to select our null. I'm going to press P and then we're going to hold down shift, press S and R, our main properties here. So just the position, scale, and rotation. I'm going to add them all as keyframes. And it's important to move the null and not the footage. Our null is going to be our main controller for this effect. So I'm just going to change my starting position to be something like around here. Add some rotation. I'm going to move forward a little bit. I'm going to reset all these values back to 0. And now, as you can see here, we have our keyframes done. I'm going to select all the keyframes that I made just then, and I'll press F9. I'm going to go to this little graph icon here. As we can see, I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. It's going to be where we adjust how smooth our transitions are. So I'm going to start off selecting my end keyframes, and it's going to pop up with this little tab here, and I'm just going to drag it all the way. Now I'm going to select my ending keyframes, and I'm just going to adjust that like that. So now we should have a motion like this. And now it's looking all right, but we can take it one step further, and we can select our footage, and then we can press this little icon, which now adds some motion blur to our effect. Now we can see that adds a little bit of smoothness to our transition. I'm going to just adjust this. I want it to be more, I guess, doing a full circle out of it. Yeah, like that. I might move these keyframes over a little bit more. So we're halfway through the transition. Now there's not actually any specific order to creating these kinds of effects. It's more so just where your creativity takes you. You're just testing different keyframes and movements here and there and just seeing how it all flows. So I'm just speeding up the process now so that it's not taking too long. And your goal is just to add some rhythm and flow to it. I recommend doing a lot of back and forwards motions, like swinging left, right, in, out, and just really going crazy with it. The more movement, usually the better that it feels. As well as if you go with the beat, it usually helps bring your clip alive. So for this first clip, this is what I ended up having. Now I'm just going to go and do the exact same thing to this second clip. So just pressing P and then Shift S and then R just to bring up all of our main values for our movement. I'm just going to link our second comp movement to our second comp, add in my keyframes. And the goal for this is to add a smooth transition from the other clip into this clip. And I purposely made the last clip end with a rotation so that we can start with a spin in this one, blending the two clips with a motion. The way I want to do that is just keyframe a full rotation. I'm going to select all my keyframes, press F9. Go into my graph editor and I'm just going to adjust the motion. As we can see, we kind of have the same motion here. Add some motion blur. And then now we've got like a smooth transition between the two clips. Now, just going through, adjusting the keyframes to just the feel and motion that I'm really going for. This is all personal preference. And after all that, this is all my keyframes together. Came out pretty nice, pretty smooth. You can finish the effect there if you'd like. I'm going to take it one step further and give you the secret that really refines your movement and gives you that viral smooth transition effect. I'm going to add in another null and I'm going to call this one comp2 refined movement. And our main goal with this is to add just a little bit more of a bounce to our transitions. First, I'm going to link my comp2 movement null to the null I just added in. I'm gonna open up my properties on both my nulls, just so I can see where the keyframes are, and I can kind of get a reference of where the main sections of movement are. Because this clip is introduced with one big rotation movement, I want it to, when it comes in, it kind of readjusts itself, kind of like an elastic band. It kind of rubber bands in a little bit just to give it more of a, well, that bounce feel. I add in just a little bit of extra rotation when it comes in. We can see here that I kind of just emphasize the rotation a little bit extra. And then as soon as it finishes the rotation, I quickly chuck it in the opposite direction just to give it that little bit more of a bounce feel. So I'm just going to speed this up, and we can see here, I'm just going through and just refining the movements. So I'm creating keyframes pretty much in the similar spots that I have before, but just adding that little bit of extra movement that I couldn't add just having just the one null. So now that I have all my keyframes done, I just select them all, press F9, I come into my graph editor, and then we do the similar thing that we did before with our original keyframes, just softening it up, just making our transitions a little bit more snappy. And that's it. Now you know how to create smooth transitions in After Effects. Hopefully you learned something new in this video, and I'll see you guys next time.